Welcome to Solve It Like a Marketer. Today, we're looking at primary versus secondary market research. Don't go away. So, marketing research is the process of defining a marketing problem and opportunity, systematically collecting and analyzing information, and then recommending actions to improve an organization's marketing activities. Now, within this, there are two core types of research methodologies. Those are primary research and secondary research. Primary market research is basically conducted by you. So this could be in the form of surveys, focus groups, interviews, or observational research. Now, needless to say, this type of research is more costly because many organizations will hire a research firm to undertake these initiatives. But if you are on a tight budget, you can still tackle one or two of these research methodologies. As I mentioned, usually when you initiate research, you are trying to answer a question or solve a problem. So an example would be, for instance, with the dairy farmers of Canada. They wanted to answer the question of why milk consumption had dropped, and they did so using primary research. So here's the marketing problem. They talked to experts in the field, conducted preliminary interviews with consumers to get ideas about why consumers were drinking less milk. This research helped the association to better define the problem and lead them closer to developing a marketing plan that could basically solve it, i.e., increase milk consumption. So for you, here are some other methods you can use in your primary market research. So focus groups, very popular. They are informal interview sessions with usually about 6 to 10 people. They could be past, present, or prospective customers in a discussion with a moderator who asks their opinions about the product or service in question. Next are depth interviews. So these are detailed individual interviews with people relevant to the research project. The researcher questions the individual at length, and often the interviews are recorded. Again, like focus groups, these gather opinions, not statistics. Surveys are also popular. So with surveys, these can be constructed to be opinion-based or statistical. So yes, no questions are great because you can see the percentages in the results. So what percentage of people continue consuming milk, for instance, and how many do not? Those are the types of questions we'd ask. Finally, social media scanning is very, very useful. On various social media channels, you can document how people are reacting to your product, either favorably or unfavorably, and delve into why they love you or don't. This unfiltered information can be extremely useful in solving customer relations problems that, well, you might not even be aware of. Now let's turn to secondary market research. So secondary market research is when you use available data that you don't need to compile yourself. So for instance, if you're researching your competitors, always a good thing to do, you might take a look at their websites, annual reports, and other published online information. This will give you a broad understanding of your competitors, but maybe not so much why customers turn to them rather than you. This is more focused research. This is when it comes into play, as we saw with primary research. So I'd say typically you want to have a bit of a balance of the two approaches, of primary and secondary. Now the fun really begins when you've collected all this data and it's time to interpret it. And this is where your team come together and debate the findings and begin to put the pieces together in a final document. Now, the trick here is to be clear and concise in that document. If it's over 100 pages, then likely no one is going to actually take the time to read it. It also has to tie in and be relevant to your marketing initiatives. So how is this information going to help your organization? The final element to this are ethical issues. Now, these can arise in the marketing researcher's relationships with all parties involved in the research process, including respondents, general public, or your clients. Now, examples of unethical behavior include failure to report problems with research results due to incomplete data, reporting only favorable but not unfavorable results, using deception to collect information, breaching the confidentiality of respondents and/or personal data if anonymity or non-disclosure was guaranteed. Research really must be conducted objectively and at arm's length without influencing the results. And sometimes you and your team, they're going to have to make some difficult decisions in interpreting that data. The trick is to always approach this with an ethical mindset. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. We'll see you every week with a new video, so please stay tuned. And together, let's solve it like a marketer.